let's talk about the 49ers draft from this year. I didn't like it at all. I think I gave it a C minus, and I was trying to be nice. I easily could have given it worse at the time. I really thought it was terrible. But at least judging on this first preseason game, it might be one of their best. Let's go through it. What do you think so far?
Yeah, I think it might be one of those, like, for lack of a gold mine draft, right? Like they struck gold. I mean,
it could be.
Like if they
didn't have a first round pick, Trey Lance, but Drake Jackson first.
We haven't seen much of him, but he looks flashed, good. He flashed some last night. I mean, I had the volume low, but I was listening to Tim Ryan, and Tim Ryan was like, "Oh, Drake Jackson, and he can really bend." But it's true. Like he really did a nice job of being able to change direction on some of those quarterback movement plays. Like he really was able to flip his hips and move with the quarterback. Like he's gotten a ton of praise. I know not just from you. You said he's done some nice things in camp. A lot of people have said it. So if they can get a situational pass rusher, a guy that can give them pass rush, plus a starting guard that can perform at a high level, good level. Doesn't have to be amazing, but if he's good, starter, and then you get a nickel, like that's an outstanding draft. And nothing else has to happen with anybody.
Let's slow down. Let's slow down and go pick for pick. So Drake Jackson was their first pick. So far, so good. He could be the best player from this draft. He could be.
Right. He could potentially, yes.
Next pick, Ty Davis Price. Not a fan so far. It's early. Let's move on past him. Danny Gray. 17th wide receiver taken. I don't know if he'll be like a guy who gets 1,000 yards for this team, but clearly a weapon. Someone defenses have to account for.
I remember
not a bad wide receiver pick that late in the draft.
I remember like Walsh. I have Walsh's book, and I remember one of the things from it when he was talking about the draft and players in the draft. Like the player doesn't have to be. You don't have to evaluate the player as being. Is this player going to be a Hall of Famer or Pro Bowl player for you? Like, can he fill the role that you want him to fill? That's how you evaluate it. Danny Gray, they need him to take the top off the defense, make deep plays. It looks like he's going to be able to do that.
Yeah. So I feel like Lance would be a little bit wasted without a player like him. Yeah. What Lance was saying last night is like, man, I had speed like this at North Dakota State. Christian Watson. I mean, he's 4.2. Like he wants to throw deep, and giving him a bunch of guys who run 4.5 flat isn't exactly getting it done. I can't remember the last time the Niners drafted a wide receiver who played this fast. They've never really valued speed like this. It's always a guy who runs like a 4.48 and is a good route runner and is like overall. He could play three positions. Like this guy is like really plays super fast, and maybe he's a one-trick pony, but I can't remember the Niners actually valuing speed like this. It's great.
Yeah. So it looks like he's going to be able to fill that role.
Yeah. Really nice fit with Trey Lance.
The thing is, quality control has to stay on him.
That's true, because he will try to catch the ball with his chest, and the more I say it, the better he gets. Because you see, he can catch it with his hands. He caught that 3rd and 9 pass out of bounds that was poorly thrown out with his hands, so he can do it. Yeah. Man, he does play fast too. He really does. Okay, then you got Spencer Burford, who I wasn't focused on from the press box a mile away, but there's been a bunch of clips of him destroying people, which is what he kind of did in camp. He looks like a really good 4th round pick so far.
Yeah, he did give up that pressure that caused the Lance to step up in the pocket, but I mean, if he can excel in the run game and then work on the pass pro, that's a Niners guard for you, right?
Right. So then you got Burford, and then after him there was Samuel Womack. Holy shit!
Yeah.
Well, those interceptions were a high degree of difficulty, right?
Yeah. Man coverage. Yeah.
Last time you saw a Niners nickelback do something like that. I mean, all due respect to Jimmy Ward, can't do that.
No.
Can't do that. Great coverage guy.
He can play man, but he hasn't been able to get the picks.
Yeah, that last part of the is really hard. And if you can do that, like you're going to make so much money in Womack. If you keep doing that, whoa, you're going to be a rich man. Wow. So that's a good pick. How do they do this? All of a sudden they have like the secret key to scouting cornerbacks, the Niners? What? Wow. Amazing. His arms are freakishly long. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, well, if you look at it, like really, I mean, they kind of lucked out on Mosley, and they developed him. Ward they got in free agency, so that's not like you developed him or anything like that. But you went out and you paid and you got him. Sure. But this guy, you give credit for him for this. This is the pick, right? Like,
yeah,
you got to get.
They also drafted DJ Reed. He is a good player. They just didn't keep him.
Yeah.
And I mean, hold on, we're not even done. So they have Kalia Davis not playing yet. Tariq Castro Fields, haven't seen much from him yet. Zakel, I don't know. Brock Purdy. Hey, Brock. I wrote you off so quick, but I like him as a backup quarterback potentially because he actually isn't just a Kyle Shanahan robot. Sometimes with Mullins, I almost felt like, dude, do what you like. Could you like play? Do what you want to do. Don't just let Kyle tell you what to do all the time. Purdy like plays off script, can run around a little bit, unlike Sudfeld. So, I mean, for Mr. Irrelevant, Flav over here says if Purdy had Trey's arm strength, he'd be a top 10 quarterback. Easy. Already a better passer than Trey. Def QB2. Wish he had more arm strength. Yeah, if he had a stronger arm, was a little taller, he'd be the best quarterback in the league. He'd be Justin Herbert if he was 6'5" with a stronger arm. But he's Brock Purdy.
You know what's funny is again on the broadcast, Tim Ryan was actually talking up Brock Purdy's arm strength.
That first throw he had, I was
right. Yeah,
like, that's Brock Purdy. But once he sort of gets a feel for who he is and what he can pull off at the NFL, I mean, he could be, a decent little backup.
I think he can be an effective backup. I think that's what. And that's not bad. Like, you can make a lot of money as an effective backup.
Absolutely. Hey, man, when he had pressure in his face on that touchdown throw and he scrambled to the right, hit Tanner Hudson, and immediately hit the sideline with the Aaron Rodgers. Boom! I was like, wow. Who does Brock Purdy think he is? I liked it. I thought it was pretty cool. Nate Sudfeld would never have the charisma to actually do the love.
The discount
champ. Yeah. Anyway, Brock Purdy. You made a fan out of me. Jimmy to the Jets. Yeah, you're going to have to spend more than $199 to speak that one into existence. Yeah. I like Womack as the starting nickel in Burford with the pancake block. Got some nice rookies. Just imagine if they hadn't wasted that third-round pick on a running back for the second year. Oh, I'm sorry. But why? Jordan Mason, they have it. I'll never understand it.
It's terrible. I mean, maybe there's still time, man. You're colder on TDP than I am, but
this is a quality control issue. I think we need to have an intervention with Kyle. Tell him it's like, football throwing contest into a pizza oven, but when we get there, it's like we need to sit down and talk. 2 years in a row, you've taken a running back in round 3. We can't, as your friend, we can't keep seeing you do this.
That was
you gotta stop.
Right. That was the problem with the pick last year. I mean, I actually did like Sermon in the draft.
Sure, I like him too.
But
more
for them, they've had so much success finding backs. Like, what's the point of it? Like,
yeah, what is the point of it? That's the intervention. That's the whole. Todd99 says I agree about Sermon, but TDP at least he does run hard. Elijah Mitchell was a O-line butt sniffer at times last year, but broke so many tackles. Give TDP time. Okay, that's fair. Just because you made me laugh. DJ Swerve says many offenses struggling in training camp against better defenses. Mac Jones has been in jail. Giants offense having full brawls against themselves. Niners shouldn't worry. Yeah, I think that because a lot of people are saying, hey, Trey Lance is struggling, but he is going against a really good defense. And maybe it's that the wide receivers are losing their one-on-one matchups. And people are like, oh, boo-hoo, no one cares. Well, we kind of saw that, right? Maybe the whole this is tough practice. This will benefit him when he faces different defense. Maybe that's true. But I don't know. He faced backups last night.
Yeah,
we'll see.
He executed, so.
He did. And he was playing with backups. Flav says, last fact. When Trey's inaccuracy leads to a lot of 3 and outs, this D will be on the field a lot. We'll give up more points than last year just by being better. That's interesting.
Didn't the problem last year, right? Didn't they have a couple of 3 and outs why they lost and the offense couldn't execute because their quarterback last year
was fourth quarter of the Rams game?
Yeah.
And I think actually with Lance, I don't think they had many 3 and outs at all. I think he was actually got a first down, at least one first down, most of the time he was on I think there was a stat about that. I don't think he went 3 and out very much.
No.
The scrambling is going to be he's going to scramble a lot. And just when you think when it's like 2nd and 10, all of a sudden it'll be 3rd and 3. And last night, what was interesting was on that touchdown that he threw, I don't know if people remember, but he got sacked on first down. First play of that drive was 1st and 10. He got sacked. He went empty formation, which was dumb. I mean, just a school guy sacked right away. Got beat. 2nd and 14. He hits Sermon on a screen for 5 yards, and then that touchdown was 3rd and 9. So I don't know. I'm not sure.
He doesn't. People talk about his scrambling, but he doesn't scramble needlessly, right? So like he scrambles efficiently. Like last night, he got pressure at the middle, scrambled, got 9 yards, but he's still looking downfield for the throw, and he does that when he scrambles. So like it's not inefficient scrambling. He's not just getting out there when there's not pressure there. And
also, sorry,
I was just gonna say they're gonna need it because they're starting 2 guards who have not started in the NFL before. So there's gonna be pressure up the middle this year.
Also, I don't think Kyle's gonna capitulate to like obvious drop back passing situations. Unless it's like losing 2-minute drill kind of stuff like that. But 3rd and 7, they can run the ball. And I think what you're going to see is they're going to go for it a lot on 4th and short because I think they're built to get that, to pick that up. So on 3rd and 7, they could run it. I think a lot of times they're going to thrive off the defense not knowing if it's a run or pass and play action. I think you're going to get a lot of that with Trey. And we've seen that. I mean, the touchdown here was a straight drop back. But against starting defenses, I think they're going to limit that as much as possible.
I also think I noticed that there's like seemingly more empty, and I think what he's trying to do is give him a clear picture if it's man, so he knows, I can just run and get 5, 6, 7, 8. You know,
that is the one nice thing about empty formations, right? You really can read the defense's mail before the snap. There's not much they can disguise.
Right.
On the other hand, you have 5 blockers. You have 5 blockers, and they can bring a 6th rusher and force the hot throw and kind of dictate to you to a degree. So you have to be really prepared to get the ball to your hands immediately. Right. So it's hard to get big plays out of empty formations, but if he's a rushing threat, you still have the quarterback draw and all that stuff.
It's also where a guy like defense
is going to miss Jimmy's 8-minute drives. Sure. But again, this is a team that's going to run the ball a lot. It's not like they're just going to be throwing hella deep passes every game. I think they have the ability to – I mean, look, of all the other – he hit the 76-yard throw. He had an 8-yard completion. He had a 3-yard completion. He had a 5-yard completion. And then the big throw. I mean, I don't think it's only going to be bombs away in this offense.
To me, you know what's the most important thing, like, to me, when you're as a defense coordinator, the most important thing for the offense on drives is to score. Like, I don't really care too much. If you go on 8-minute drive and then you don't score, like you got to, you need to score. To me, that's what's going to that's what puts pressure on the opposing team. You just go even, chewing the clock, but like, that's great. I mean, you've seen this in the NFL. Then the team will just go down the field in a minute on you, and then you lose. Like,
then you lose. That's the order of operations. Danny Young says 11 on 11 is a lot better than 10 on 11. A lot better. Agree. That's what people always want to focus on, the passing. This team runs more than any other team. I think you got to talk about that. I mean, they want to run. They're embracing their philosophy, their identity.